See, we're ready. Everybody's mics on. And we'll go ahead and call this special meeting of Norwood City Council to order. If everyone can please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franson?
Here.
Mrs. Hoover? Ms. Royce? Here. Ms. Bowling?
Here.
Mrs. Winterbottom, or excuse me, Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Gurton?
Here.
Mr. Brady?
Here. We have 6 of 7 members present this evening. Moving on to second readings of ordinances and resolutions. The first is an ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director's loan application through the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency for approximately $400,000 to replace lead water service lines to privately held properties on Montgomery Road from Norwood Avenue to Fenwick Avenue and declaring an emergency. Mr. Gurton.
We're on the second reading of this.
That is correct.
I make a motion that we have the second and third reading.
Suspend the rules and have the second and third reading. Mr. Moore.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Moore. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franson?
Yes.
Ms. Royce? I will vote yes. Ms. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gurton?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have the second and third readings of the ordinance.
An ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director's loan application through the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency for approximately $400,000 to replace lead water service lines to privately held properties on Montgomery Road from Norwood Avenue to Fenwick Avenue and declaring an emergency. An ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director's loan application through the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency for approximately $400,000 to replace lead water service lines to privately held properties on Montgomery Road from Norwood Avenue to Fenwick Avenue and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mr. Braden.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Motion to pass the ordinance.
Motion by Mr. Braden to pass the ordinance. Mrs. Bowling.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bowling. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Ms. Royce? I'll vote yes. Ms. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gurton?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Moving on to the next item. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor and safety service director. Hold on.
Just the safety.
Yeah,
Dale Road.
I'm missing that one. Ordinance authorizing the safety service director's loan application through the Ohio Environment Protection Agency for approximately $400,000 to replace lead water service lines and privately held properties on Ralston Avenue from Worth Avenue to Dale Road and declaring an emergency. Mrs. Bowling.
I move that we suspend the rules and have the second and third reading.
Motion by Mrs. Bowling to suspend the rules and have the second and third readings of the ordinance. Mr. Gurton.
I second to motion.
Seconded by Mr. Gurton. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Ms. Royce? I'll vote yes. Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gurton?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have the second and third readings of the ordinance.
An ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director's loan application through the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency for approximately $400,000 to replace lead water service lines to privately held properties on Ralston Avenue from Worth Avenue to Dale Road and declaring an emergency. An ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director's loan application through the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency for approximately $400,000 to replace lead water service lines to privately held properties on Ralston Avenue from Worth Avenue to Dale Road and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mr. Braden.
Motion to pass the ordinance, please.
Motion by Mr. Braden to pass the ordinance. Mrs. Bowling.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bowling. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franson?
Yes.
Ms. Royce? I'll vote yes. Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gurton?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Next item is an ordinance authorizing the mayor and safety service director to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with local union number 3278 and Ohio Council 8 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO, consistent with the terms of the attached Exhibit A for the period from March 1, 2025 through December 31, 2027, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Braden,
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to have the second and third reading.
to suspend the rules and have the
Suspend the
second.
rules and have all third. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gurdon,
Second the motion.
seconded by Mr. Gurdon. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mr. Royce, I'll vote yes. Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have the second and third readings of the ordinance.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor and safety service director to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with local union,
This is 3278.
3278, and Ohio Council 8 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO, consistent with the terms of the attached Exhibit A for the period from March 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027, and declaring an emergency. Ordinance authorizing the mayor and safety service director to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with local union 3278 and Ohio Council 8 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO, consistent with the terms of the attached Exhibit A for the period from March 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mrs. Bowling,
I move that we pass the ordinance.
motion by Mrs. Bowling to pass the ordinance. Is there a second? Mrs. Franzen,
I second.
seconded by Mrs. Franzen. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Franzen?
Yes.
Mr. Royce, I'll vote yes. Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Moving on to the next item. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor and safety service director to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with local union number 914 and Ohio Council 8 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO, consistent with the terms of the attached Exhibit A for the period from March 1, 2025 through December 31, 2027, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Braden,
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to have the second and third reading of the ordinance and declaring an emergency.
suspend the rules and have the second and third
And
readings.
suspend the rules and have the second and third reading and declaring an emergency. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why is that so hard for me?
Because it's not Tuesday.
Let me write that down.
Is there a second? Mrs.
I
Franzen,
second.
seconded by Mrs. Franzen. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mr. Royce, I will vote yes. Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have the second and third readings of the ordinance.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor and safety service director to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with Union, 914 and Ohio Council 8 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO, consistent with the terms of the attached Exhibit A for the period from March 1st, 2025. Did I just read the wrong one?
Nope.
Okay. Through December 31st, 2027, and declaring an emergency. Ordinance authorizing the mayor and safety service director to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with local union 914 and Ohio Council 8 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO, consistent with the terms of the attached Exhibit A for the period from March 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mrs. Bowling,
I move we pass the ordinance.
motion by Mrs. Bowling to pass the ordinance. Is there a second? Mrs. Franzen,
I second.
seconded by Mrs. Franzen. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Ms. Royce, I'll vote yes. Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Moving on to first readings of ordinances and resolutions, we have one. That is an ordinance approving the Ninth Amendment to the detailed financial plan for the city of Norwood and declaring an emergency. Mr. Garten.
Make a motion that we suspend the rules and have all three readings.
Motion by Mr. Garten to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Show off.
Mrs. Bowling.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bowling. Any discussion? Mr. Moore.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Mayor, I just, looking through this and like the list of assumptions and how thoughtful all of the assumptions are laid out, and really I could just tell like the significant amount of work that went into this document. I just really want to applaud you and your staff for, all the effort and the other folks that have a say in that. Just very candidly, I have had a chance to review this, but with it coming in on Tuesday night, I would like to spend more time with the document. So just personally, I'm not comfortable with doing all three readings right now, but I really do applaud the document and all the hard work that went into it. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Mr. Garten.
Mr. Mayor, how many millions of dollars did we dedicate to Montgomery Road project? First question.
2.5 million plus, the Elm Avenue project, plus there's so much, there's more money in this for roads than there has been probably ever for the city of Norwood. And one of the things that Mr. Bonzo talked to me about when we started formulating this is we're going to have to take some general fund money and do more streets and do more residential streets and make even more progress than we've been making. So, if you look at a couple of these, from the capital projects plan part of it, there's just in the street fund alone, 1.25 million. Capital projects for, general fund capital projects is $6 million. It's a huge amount. It's millions and millions of dollars that we are putting into streets and infrastructure projects that are going to make a huge difference in our community.
Follow-up question. Thank you. Am I understanding this correctly? On page 6 of the capital improvement worksheet, you mentioned the 1.25 million, that we've got that amount set for the next 4 years is our plan?
That's correct. That is correct, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. I just wanted to make sure that was stated on the record.
Mayor Snyder.
If I could just add a few things to it. This 5-year plan, it's incredible. I'd never thought, when I was on council in 2005 and 6 and 7, I never thought we'd be in a position like we are in now. I did find one error, Mr. Curtin, Councilman Gerton, that you pointed out, where there is an error within the capital projects funding for the police department. The number put in there is 163,800. But then on the capital projects planning worksheet, it's 258,000. So I'd like to be able to make that correction on this as we go forward. Now, what does that do to us sum total? Sum total for the current year, for 2025, we're looking at ending the year potentially with a carryover of $10,696,987. And this correction, that I guess is an error on my part, just typing it in and not seeing that number, but will take us down to doing a carryover this year of $10,607,000 at the end of the year. For the 5-year plan, we go from, at the end of the 5-year plan, we'll have, our goal is always to try to have at least $1.8 to $2 million in there at the end of that plan. And we are one of the things that if you talk to community members, they'll say, I don't want the city I want the city to fix streets. I don't want them to have millions of dollars sitting in the bank account, but my streets are in terrible shape or my community's in terrible shape. If you look at this worksheet, the capital projects worksheet, it's got improvements going on across the board for years. Continuous maintenance and upkeep of our infrastructure, and that's what we need to do. That's the right way to do it. And this is all, this all came about because of, some of the challenges that we had in the past, not being able to look out past, a year or past 2 years. So when you look at this, I think, my gosh, there's so much going on. It's incredible to see, all the changes that have happened and are going to continue happening through the city. So, I get excited when we talk about the city of Norwood having the funds to do things. Even the fire chief has put together plans, long-term capital plans that we're gonna continue to work on and continue. We're not getting hit with, we need an ambulance now and we need to order it today, and our ambulance's wheels are falling off by the time the new ambulance comes in. The chief is being very proactive, and within these plans, we're being proactive to get those things ordered in the time frame that they need to be ordered, and putting those, and that's what we need to do. I ran on getting the city out of the peaks and valleys and getting us on a plateau and really up here and staying up there and rolling along where the city is recognized as just efficient, effective, ran properly, and that's what this stuff does. And quite frankly, with changes in the auditor's office and with changes in the treasurer's office, I have the utmost confidence in the financial people that are working to get this stuff done. I think that our financial group, when you talk about the auditor and treasurer's office working together, they are absolutely hitting on all cylinders. And that makes my job so much easier, and the safety service directors and the chief's job and everybody's job so much easier. And they've got great ideas that they still haven't even gotten to implement yet, that are going to continue coming down the road. And so I'm really, proud of where we've gotten, but I can also see, there's much more work that's going to be done, and we've got the right people in place to do even better in the future.
Mr. Moore.
I don't mean to open too big of a can of worms here, but just high level, if you could talk about some of that growth in like the fund balance end of year, just some contributing factors. A couple years ago, that was 9.4, now it's up to 16.9. How has that materialized?
Mayor Snyder.
Great. I think we're running the city much more efficiently and effectively. I think a lot of what we do, if you look at recreation, if you look at our services that we provide, we're doing them much more efficiently. I think that the CARES Act or COVID, and there was some funding that came in, but we're also taking advantage of every opportunity we can to really utilize the funds that we have and even get a higher level of work completed with the funds that we have. So that's another big part of it. I mean, I would like to say when I took over as mayor that we were in a huge deficit. We were not in a huge deficit. Tom Williams did not leave us in a huge deficit. He left us with the carryover that first year. The challenge has always been rebuilding sort of the structure. Tom ran an extremely lean operation for many, many reasons. And then when we came out of that time frame and funding was starting to come back in, Tom was saying, "Hey, I've did this a long time. I'm ready to move and make some other." So Tom moved out of the way and recognizing that he left the city in pretty good shape, and we have been able to build upon his few years of really being able to bank some stuff. So we've done things well. I mean, even if you look at the treasurer's office is hitting on all cylinders. They're paying attention and doing the job right, and there's more income. He won't he's very, I consider it maybe humble, maybe, but his office is doing a great job and like changing banking and putting the right staff in place and making sure that things are done that you have. I'm sorry, but tax collection has to occur. You know, you can pass all the ordinances in the world to say we're going to pass this tax, but if somebody doesn't actually go out and get it. So his office has been doing a much better job. And quite frankly, I think what he runs into is a lot of organizations say, oh, well, heck, we didn't even realize that we were supposed to be doing that. And people who are working in the city of Norwood said, I didn't realize that. So it's not that they won't pay. It's just that he needed to get the information. So he's done a lot of work on that, and that's helped considerably. I mean, even just investing, if you look at even the carryover money was sitting there, and over the last few years, he's been able to invest that money to get the interest. Now, we had high interest rates. Now that's coming down, and that's that's pretty incredible, the amount of income just generated from some really smart management of funds. So that's a big part of it.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Gardner.
A follow-up question for Mr. Mayor, since Mr. Bonzo's out of town right now. Would you say the projections are conservative for what we're looking at in the future?
Yeah, actually, the information I got back from our financial supervisor was, it looks like some of these are so conservative, you could add to them. We didn't make changes to that. We felt like the original numbers that he gave were still good numbers to use. So yeah, and I've also said through the years, the last few years, we passed the financial recovery plan, we passed the capital projects plan in March and April, and it's hard because we have a small window of work out, exterior work. It's hard to get a lot of the stuff done. Our project manager, Darren Hackworth, does a good job at pushing it forward. Clint does a really great job pushing things forward, but it's hard to get, you know, I'd love to think that all of the stuff that we have in the 2025 column by next year will be completed, but we even have trouble purchasing vehicles at times because we're getting, you know, so that's the tough part of it. I feel like it's almost like a snowball of work that we keep on picking at, but it's still, and we've got the money to do it. We just can't get it all done. So, but that's not to say we need to add people or do anything else. I think we've got the right people in place. It's just a matter of making it happen.
Thank you for that.
Any further discussion? Mrs. Franson.
Okay, so, I've been going back and forth. I didn't know, Mr. Mayor, if the capital improvement planning worksheet, like if those numbers are finalized, especially for 28, 29, or they're just more like, here's what we kind of think we will be doing.
Every year, the financial recovery
Yeah.
plan, every year, the 5-year forecast gets updated.
Okay.
Yes, so 28 and 29 are, you know, they're there and they're numbers to look at, and we build off of that. But they are, I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I could tell you that far out, but.
Okay, just wanted to check, because I know I was looking at like the capital expenses or the capital stuff listed in the budget, and the numbers didn't quite match up with some of the sections for like capital improvements for 28 and specific for 2028 specifically. And I know it's going to change. It's going to change. I just wanted to call out like one I saw for 2028, the dump truck. That's $85,000. For the street department capital expenses on the worksheet, it's $255,000. And then on the budget, it is only $170,000 that year. So I know that this is a worksheet and not something that is set in stone, correct? So it's not that we don't intend necessarily to do that, but we're not putting in the budget yet. These are things that we want to do. Okay.
Correct.
I just wanted to say that out loud so that if people like me who are looking through this are like, hey, these numbers don't quite match up. At least I know that we had the one correction for the police. That was one of the numbers I saw in one of the upcoming years that didn't quite match up. So I just wanted to like make sure for my peace of mind that when we're looking at 28, 29, this worksheet is not 100% set in stone, so we can budget stuff. Maybe that stuff isn't quite budgeted for yet, but it's something you want to do. Would that be an accurate thing to say?
I mean, realistically, this is a tool.
Yeah.
For planning purposes. You know, like I said, I'd love to think that all of the 2025 things are going to get completed, but next year, when I come to council, there will be things that were on the 2025 list that have been moved to the 2026 list, and things on the 2026, potentially, if there's a meaningful reason, they'd be moved to 27. So, yes, it's very fluid and very dynamic.
Okay.
28 and 29 are hard to nail down, but we've got good numbers in here, that they're good,
Yeah, and to be clear, it wasn't like I was like concerned or thought there was something weird going on. I just wanted to make sure for my peace of mind and for other people's that when we're looking at these worksheets, it's not that we definitely are getting that dump truck or that, well,
Right.
the ambulance and fire truck will say you're different, but other stuff, it can be moved around. But these are all things that the different department heads have said that they want to do, and you're trying to use this worksheet to try to fit in where it most makes sense, depending on what the budget is.
Mayor Snyder.
Sorry.
And the chiefs and the department heads all recognize, this is what they put in, these are the things they said they needed to do their jobs and to get the work done of the city. But they are running they're running their operations, and they will come to us and say, instead of doing this, we're going to do this at that time. And, okay, as long as it's within your budget parameters, if that's what's necessary. I mean, I'm the mayor, but I couldn't tell you what's really necessary at Public Works. Sure can't tell you what's necessary in the police department this month compared to next month, or in the fire department. I clearly can't tell you those things. But those department heads, they know, they see it every day, and they will look at this and say, well, 3 months ago, that was critically important to us, but here's what's even more important that I know of now. And they work those things in, so.
All right.
Mr. Gray.
Since the chief has been here, fire chief has been here, waited so long, I just wanted to see if he wanted to say anything. Because I guess my question would be, on capital expenses, do you have what you need?
Chief McCabe.
Figured I should make you earn your pay since you came here tonight.
Thank you. We have a nice voice at the table with administrations. What we try to do from the fire department side is give them a 10-year snapshot. While you have a 5-year in front of you, we like to project 10 years out so you can really see what you're looking at in terms of major expense. We talk about capital expenditures for the fire department looking at somewhere between 750 to 1.25 million every year for 10 years. But with that comes is it's a planning piece, right? And so we have that conversation with the admin, and then we understand as public safety is costly, we have to maneuver some of that stuff. So I think the majority of things that I asked for are in there. They, at their liberty, move things a year or so around, but generally it's with deep conversation, making sure it does not impact operations. So that's a tough document. I've been dealing with the FRP for 9 years. It's a long, lengthy process. I've always kind of cajoled the mayor and looked to see that plan come out February 1st, but it's almost impossible because you're closing out the year and it's an immense project. So kudos to them. I wouldn't want to have to deal with that on an annual basis, but yeah, we have a in-depth conversation, and I probably push them a little bit more than they'd like, but yeah, I'm happy to do that just to make sure. But they've done a really good job of making sure we're in the best position that we've probably ever been in terms of our apparatus, and that's largely impact from this administration getting us the tools we need, and they do listen. So
I appreciate it, sir.
yeah, thank you.
And
Mayor Snyder.
I would like to add, the fire department puts a lot of time and effort. A big part of what emergency planning is preparing for, and the fire department puts a ton of time and effort into putting these plans in place. Chief McCabe does a really good job at putting together that 10-year plan. And I've told the chief that, those plans are things that as a mayor, I think we adopt, and even when the chief changes over, we've got plans in place that the fire department has helped us formulate. And even as there are changes, this goes back to that really putting us on a plateau, getting us out of the peaks and valleys, putting us at a position where even when a new chief takes over in 5 or 10 or 15, 10 years probably with history, but even when a new chief takes over, that there's a path forward, that the person's not like, oh my gosh, I need a fire truck next year and nothing's being planned. No, all that stuff should be outlined and put in here. So before I give up the floor, the Financial Recovery Commission meets on Monday, right? In accordance with Section 118 of the Ohio Revised Code, the mayor must submit to the Financial Planning and Supervision Commission a financial plan as approved by ordinance for the city of Norwood within a specific amount of time, and we're at that time. And I'd like to say, I would like to say, okay, I could get this to you a month ago or 2 months ago, but there are reasons why this plan takes a while to get to you guys. I mean, part of it is union contracts. We're negotiating union contracts, and as you know, you finalized some union contracts. Those are all critical numbers that have to go into this financial plan. So even up to, 2 weeks ago, this plan was somewhat, fluid and changing because of different things that were going on. So this is the best plan that we have right now with this snapshot in time. And people can say, well, oh, wait a minute, but so-and-so left this position and went to this position, and it doesn't show that on the staffing. It doesn't show it on there. Well, I'm sorry, but that's going to happen. People are going to be hired. People are going to take different positions. That happens. This is the best that we can put forward for approval by council at this moment in time.
Mrs. Franzen.
Oh, please, we said it, sorry, same time. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not me, okay, sorry. Yeah, so I share Mr. Moore's concerns, with getting it so late, but I do appreciate that. And one thing that, I did go back and forth a little bit about, should we try to do 3 readings tonight or not? But for me, what pushed me to wanting to support having 3 readings is that this can be revised in the future. Like in 2022, there was a revision in May, so there can be changes made later on if there are things that we're not comfortable, that you or the administration or we as council come to realize we're not happy or comfortable with, or we realize there's a huge mistake in the numbers. From what I understand, is that a correct thing, that at least in the past, there have been revisions to this when needed? Yeah, that was a question to the mayor.
I think that's absolutely correct.
Okay.
And I also, as you say that, I think, well, I'd like to think my work is perfect and that nothing can be improved. But quite frankly, we've added a person in the auditor's office that will be a huge benefit to looking this over and to working. And she, as the deputy auditor, she's going to be a perfect person for helping with those things as this gets put into the budget. And as I would find it hard to believe that she doesn't have questions and doesn't, come to us and say, we need to work on this or that. I think she's on a much higher level than me when it comes to financial planning like this. And I think Ken also is a much higher, so it's going to be, yes. A long story short, yes, I'm sorry.
Mr. Moore.
Yes, just with regard to the union contracts that you referenced, I think what you said is that the ones that we passed earlier tonight for the 2 unions, I think what you said is basically that we're waiting on those, and then the plan has sort of that new environment baked into it based on the go forward of what just went into effect.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to verify that. And then just, you alluded to the sort of, the mayor must submit, so on and so forth. And a lot of these other kinds of dates, like December or September, whatever, I'm those all precede my time. So I'm deferential to you, Mr. Miracle, and so forth, as far as those sort of deadlines and whatnot having been met. But otherwise, deeper into the document, again, very impressed with all that's there.
Thank you.
Mr. Garten.
Rather than a question, I just want to point out some numbers in case anybody's listening tonight. So out of our income, property tax is about $3.7 million, where our earnings taxes are $22.7 million of our budget. We get a hotel tax, and that's $327,000, but we're adding a new hotel to Norwood, so that'll be even better in the future, hopefully. But I do have a question. I forgot to ask this whenever the chief was up here. In income, it says charges for services, $910,000 for this year. How much of that was through EMS services? Approximately. I don't know if you have that number in your head.
Chief McCabe.
So our reimbursement for insurance billings, probably, don't quote me on this. Generally, we trend about $585 to $600,000 in terms of that recoupment. I would better say we're pretty much on that. I watch that on a monthly basis to make sure. It's one of my contentions with the state in terms of they try to project income on a variable number of, you're dependent on making runs. And what are those billable runs? And so I just caution them on that. But we have seen an increase in our private insurance payments. And we've seen a decrease in Medicaid billing over the last year and a half. And so that's strengthened our per cost capture and increased our revenue a little bit as well.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to point out a few numbers that were revenue for us. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Just one, yes, Mr. Garten.
Sorry. To hold your feet to the fire, Mr. Mayor. In 2028, we have a sand volleyball court that's in the future.
Mayor Schneider.
That's the plan.
If that is what people want to be put at the rec center, then I'm sure we'll get pressure from the rec center people and they'll make it happen. He needs to put it in his budget.
I appreciate that. I think most of our spending is on infrastructure stuff, but there is still room in the future for some recreation. So I just wanted to point that out.
Mrs. Franzen.
Count me as pro sand volleyball, and I will withhold my vote later if it's not in the budget later. That's a joke. Please don't hold me to that. I always feel like I have to caveat that I'm joking because people will take it seriously and then be mad at me for no reason. Thank you.
Mr. Braden.
My vote would be to play volleyball on the court, not in the sand.
What? Okay.
Any further discussion? Since Mayor Schneider mentioned the edit to the plan during the discussion, and we already had the motion made, my request is for that we probably would have to have a motion to amend the exhibit. So prior to that, what I would need is for Mr. Gerton and Mrs. Bowling to agree to withdraw your motion to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the ordinance.
I agree to withdraw my motion.
Mr. Gerton?
Same.
Thank you. So at this point, we'll need a motion to approve amending the exhibit with the numbers that were shared by Mayor Schneider. Mrs. Bowling?
I move that we amend the document as stated.
Thank
And am
you.
I also moving to, do I pass in the same motion? I'm sorry, this is
just to amend. For
Okay,
now,
great.
we're
Then I
amending
move that
first.
we amend it as stated, thank you.
Is there a second? Mr. Braden?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franson?
Yes.
Ms. Royce, I will vote yes. Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gert?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes. The motion carries. Now we can move on to Mr. Garden.
I make a motion that we suspend the rules and have all three readings of the Ninth Amendment of the FRP
As amended.
as amended.
Thank you.
And declaring an emergency.
Mrs. Bowling,
I usually have, I second that.
seconded by Mrs. Bowling. So the motion on the floor by Mr. Garten, seconded by Mrs. Bowling, is to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the ordinance as amended. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Ms. Royce, although yes. Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
No.
Oh, excuse me. Mr. Curtin?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
With a vote of 5 in favor, 1 against, that motion fails. We do need 6 to suspend the rules. Is there a motion to have a first reading of the ordinance? Mr. Braden,
Question,
question?
if I'm allowed? So we're still, I certainly understand your apprehension to have all three readings. But that doesn't mean we have to have our next meeting. Do we have to have this by the 1st? So this is going to mean we're going to have 2 more meetings after this?
That is correct.
So do you understand that? You're good? You understand that? Just want to make sure you get that.
May I ask a
Mr.
question?
Moore?
Is there a requirement to, if we wanted to have the first 2 readings, is that subject to the same 6 affirmative votes for passage?
To suspend the rules, we have to have at least 6 votes, whether it is 2 readings or 3. Any more than 1 reading would require suspending the rules, which does require that 6. Yes, Mr. Moore.
I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules and have the first 2 readings.
Can I say something?
Mr. Moore?
My understanding is that would allow for a 3rd reading
And it's
tomorrow that would have a lower bar for passage.
We still need 5 to pass because it is declaring an emergency.
So it's still a lower bar though.
Correct.
So my motion would be to suspend the rules and have the first 2 readings.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Moore is to suspend the rules and have the first and second readings of the ordinance. Mr. Braden?
Thank you, Mr. President. Can I
Is this a
pose
second?
question to Mr. Moore? Well,
If we can have it, Mrs. Franzen?
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Mrs. Franzen. Any discussion? Mr. Braden?
thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate that. So yeah, I just want to ask you and assure you that if there's any issues at all that you have with this, and let's say there's a mistake, or if there's something that you just have an issue with at all, I'll stand with you on that. I'm sure others will, and we can amend it. And if there's an issue that you have or something like that, definitely you would have favor with that, and I would help you amend that. So I guess what I'm asking is for you to amend your motion that we would have all 3 readings and maybe pass this tonight. And if there is something that you come up with after you or get involved in it, then we can go back and change that, and you would have support doing that. That's all I would ask. So that way we would not have to have other meetings tomorrow or Saturday. That's all I'm asking. So, I mean, it's going, if you don't, you don't, that's okay. I'm just putting it out there.
Thank you. Mrs. Bowling?
I want to make it clear that I am by no means stating this because I am urging you to amend anything or rush through where you are comfortable with your familiarity level with the document. But I do just want to state for the record, because it will complicate things slightly, that I work until 9 p.m. tomorrow. So there is a 0% chance that I will be able to attend tomorrow's meeting, which just means that if Susan is out of town and I am unable to work, everyone else would be required to attend, and in order for it to pass,
That is
would have
correct.
to vote yes. That is not me saying that in any way to rush. I think this is a big document that a ton of work has gone into, and I want everyone to feel comfortable with it and familiar with it, and we have not had a ton of time with it. I am only stating that to inform everyone.
Yeah, and that.
Mr. Moore?
I'm sorry. Yeah, and look, I I don't mean to be any kind of way. I just, again, it's a significant document. My motion allows the people who are here tonight to get things as far as they can get with the recognition that 2 people might not be here tomorrow, but still allow passage tomorrow. I would say that at times, the 3 readings maybe hasn't been the best thing. And so in this particular case, I personally feel more comfortable having the first 2 and not doing all of them tonight, passing it in one night.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yeah, I respect your judgment, and I totally understand. I was looking forward to not having to come in on Friday, but ultimately, I don't want people to not feel comfortable with what they're passing. Like this isn't just like lead pipes or something where we're all in it together. This is the future of the city, essentially. But it is good that we're all here so that we can have 2 readings, because as long as all other 5 of us that are not Miss Bowling are able to come tomorrow, we can have the 3rd reading and have that be quickly completed in like 10 minutes. But I also understand the frustration of wanting to get it done tonight.
Mrs. Bowling?
I don't know if this is a possibility, but is there a way, it seems like Mr. Braden's attendance is tentative tomorrow, his availability. Is there a way to, instead of having the meeting tomorrow, have the 3rd reading? Is there a way to not have the meeting tomorrow, but do have the meeting Saturday morning, at which I absolutely can attend?
We can cancel the meeting for Friday. And we would just have to nail down a time for the Saturday meeting. I know we had tentatively discussed 10 a.m., but I know we were waiting for individuals who were not present Tuesday night before we locked in a time for the Saturday meeting.
As an individual who was not present Tuesday night, 10 a.m. at Saturday works beautifully for me. If that everyone is comfortable with that and available Saturday morning, that also may give additional time to review the document as opposed to just having 24 hours from now. Can I ask an additional question? I know that having a second meeting is inconvenient, and that is okay, but sometimes governing is inconvenient, and that's okay. Mayor Schneider, there is not a out of compliance consequence if we waited until Saturday to pass it?
Mayor Schneider?
For Saturday's passing of it, I don't see how it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, we already had a meeting. I mean, we were projecting having a meeting scheduled on Saturday anyway, because we would have needed 3 meetings to have the 3 readings. Mrs. Franzen?
So just to double check, would on Saturday, myself, Ms. Bowling, Mr. Moore, Mr. Girton, and Ms. Royce all be available? Not to say that you can't also come, John, sorry. You just, but in that case, again, always love to not have to come, but I would rather everyone be comfortable with this than it not be. And look, I lived 2 minutes away.
My motion can fail.
Mr. Gardner?
Would the mayor like to say something?
For the financial recovery planning and supervision, for the Financial Planning and Supervision Commission, it's required for the city to have a 5-year, to have this financial recovery plan passed by ordinance. For me as the mayor, it's required for me to bring it forward to council. And with council, if council decides on Saturday, no, we're not interested in passing it, I do think there are some guidelines within a community being in a fiscal emergency that we will go up against. And potentially there could be repercussions with the auditor of state's office. Ken, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You've been on that, on the commission.
Mr. Miracle?
Yeah, that's true, Mr. Mayor. My understanding, if it isn't passed by Monday, the 31st, I think, and someone can correct me, that our budget will go to 80%.
85, I believe.
80 or 85% of what is on there. So we would lose 10, 15% to 20%.
Reduction.
Reduction.
Mr. Braden?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, so I just wanted to make one more comment. I totally get it. If you need some more time, Mr. Moore, to look it over, I understand that. My only point being is that it's a working document. If you find something, we can change it. No big deal. You know, we waited here for almost 3 hours now to try to prevent meetings from happening. You know, I believe that the mayor has put a lot of time into this. The auditor has also probably went over this. I think we have outside people. I think Mr. Stith has been over this. A lot of, I'm sure this, you know, safety service directors have been involved in others. So I'm pretty comfortable with the document, and, we waited 3 hours to pass it. So, I mean, knowing that, all these professionals have been through this document, knowing that we can change it if we want to, I would just suggest that we pass it and we move on with our lives this weekend. So, but that, certainly I'm not forcing anybody, and you're more than welcome to feel however it is, you need to feel. Thank you.
Mrs. Bowling?
I do not know if this is a question for the mayor or for the auditor. Should the document be reviewed before Saturday and something come up that council would want to amend? Is there any reality where the document could be amended and then voted on again before Monday, the deadline?
You wouldn't.
Mayor Schneider?
You don't have enough time. You don't have that window to do that. And, the reason why the penalty is there is because communities that are typically in a fiscal emergency, the council is not working well, the administration's not working well, things are not getting done. And the reason why the auditor of state says, here's the penalty, is because either the administration isn't providing a budget to council, or there are certain council members that are elected officials that say, I'm just going to burn it down. I don't care. And I'm not stating that that's what we're trying to do, but I'm telling you what the reasoning behind that 85% is to say council members need to look at what you have in front of you and pass it, knowing full well that there are going to be changes, that it's dynamic, and it can be updated, it can be improved upon. It should be improved upon. Myself, I look at this and say, we shouldn't be doing a 5-year plan in March. We should be doing a 5-year plan. And I think we've got the right financial people to do it now. We should be doing it in October and November. We should be looking at that 5-year plan, and this isn't even really relevant at that point. But we've got to get to that point. And, so that's all I could say is, myself, I'd like to see it passed tonight, move forward, and we make improvements as needed in the future.
Mrs. Bowling?
I asked that question only to I guess, clarify and point out that our options as it stands are pass the ordinance this evening, pass it Saturday, or lose 10 to 15%. So if it will inevitably pass today or Saturday, I would be interested for efficiency's sake in passing it today. What I am not interested in is being penalized, especially considering it's a document that we have the ability to amend as we go. Thanks.
Thank you.
And just to be clear, I have no interest in the city being penalized either. That is not. If we think about this, this was on our desk when we walked in here Tuesday night, right? We scheduled 3 emergency meetings. We're passing this in an emergency. By all accounts, the financial recovery plan is a very important document, and I don't know, that is all very quick in my personal opinion. I understand other things, but I'm sorry, that's personally how I feel. And if you guys want to vote down my motion, that's fine.
Any further discussion? Motion on the floor by Mr. Moore, seconded by Mrs. Franzen, is to suspend the rules and have the first and second readings of the ordinance. Call the roll, please.
Excuse me, Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Ms. Royce, I will vote yes. Mrs. Bowling?
No.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Girton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
No.
By a motion of 3 in favor and 2 against, that motion fails, since we do need at least 6 to suspend the rules. Is there, Mrs. Franzen?
No, please, go ahead, Mr. Gurdon.
Oh, I was just going to ask a general question. How do we get this passed by Monday then?
So we could.
My question is to anybody in the room, but
So if we stick with the 3 meetings that were scheduled, we have 1 reading tonight. As long as we have 4 people here tomorrow, we can have the second reading tomorrow. We would need 5 people here on Saturday to be able to pass. Since there is a declaration of emergency in the ordinance, we do need 5 members voting in favor to pass the ordinance. So if we have enough here tonight to do the first reading, we have at least 4 tomorrow to do the second reading. We have at least 5 people here on Saturday to have the third reading and then pass. Then that meets all the requirements prior to the March 31st Financial Planning and Supervision Commission meeting. Mr. Gardner?
am I correct that Ms. Hoover is out of town?
That is correct.
Who is available tomorrow to be here? So we have 4. Can we pass the second reading tomorrow?
We can
with 4?
have a second reading with a quorum.
Right.
Yes,
I don't
but
know
we
if we can
cannot,
pass it, yeah.
we cannot have a motion to pass or to suspend the rules tomorrow.
So we could
motion to
have first
pass-
reading tonight.
Yes,
We have 4 people to vote.
for a second reading tomorrow.
And then we have 5 people on Saturday.
We have to have 5 people here on Saturday in order to pass. Correct. Mrs. Bowman?
Mr. Braden, through the president, if I would like to reintroduce 2 readings for efficiency's sake, are you comfortable supporting that in order to avoid 3 meetings? My no vote is because I would like to have all 3 readings, but in order to avoid having a 3rd meeting, I would like to reintroduce a motion.
Mr. Braden?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, Ms. Bowling, I would definitely consider that, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Same exact sentiment.
Mrs. Bowling?
I would like to make a motion then to reintroduce the motion or a new motion of the same, I don't know how to word that, to suspend the rules and have the first 2 readings this evening.
Is there a second? Mrs. Franzen?
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Franzen. The motion on the floor is to suspend the rules and have the first and second readings of the ordinance. Any discussion? Mr. Gardner?
Are you comfortable with that, Mr. Moore?
That was my motion. And look, I don't, it's not my goal here to be the problem child. It is just that it has been, the city's had financial problems for 15, 20, like, this seems like an important document. I've had it for less than 48 hours, and I don't want to rush that.
It's fair.
Mrs. Franzen?
I'm in no way angry or mad or anything. I just want you to say that, like, I was already planning on being here Saturday, man. I'm fine. It'd be great to do all 3 readings tonight, but I don't want to do that if not everyone's comfortable, because that sucks. I don't know. I like that everyone is taking this seriously. Like, it's fine. I'm happy to do the 2 readings and then come in on Saturday and do that third, and we'll have a lot more time. And yeah, so yeah, I just want to make it clear. I don't think anyone's like mad. Like, it's good that you are doing this. It's good that you are standing firm in what you believe, man. Sorry, that's a little informal, but no, I don't know. It's easy to like kind of just go along to get along, and it's harder to say no when everyone else is saying yes. So I applaud that, and I totally understand. And actually, it'll be nice to have a little more time with it, honestly.
So,
And again, I was going to be here Saturday anyway. It doesn't matter.
so to confirm, we will cancel the meeting for tomorrow. We will keep the meeting that is scheduled for Saturday at 10 a.m. with the assumption that we will have at least 5 people present for that third reading and voting on passage of the ordinance.
Yep.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes, my only concern would be purely the logistics, and if it sounds like we have 5 people, I want to make sure that we have that. If that's good, I'm doing 2 readings.
Mayor Snyder?
And if we do not have the right amount of council members on Saturday, then we could look at those penalties. If somebody has a problem with their car or somebody doesn't show up on Saturday, then we could potentially go to 85%. Because we don't have the time to pass it before. I mean, I can ask the Financial Recovery Commission to meet later, but we're still past the deadline, so potentially we'll run into that. But that's okay. I don't want to force anybody to do anything, as long as we all understand the consequences of what we're saying here. I just want to clarify that.
Mr. Braden?
Thank you, Mr. President. So why you canceled the meeting for tomorrow? Because not enough people can be here?
Correct. We will need at least 5 to pass the ordinance.
And Ms. Baldwin won't be here?
We will,
Well, Mr. Braden can be here.
I mean, I didn't say I wouldn't be here. I
Right,
just,
if you can be here tomorrow.
just like, I didn't say I wouldn't be here. Okay? All right?
if
I think I might be upset because Emily showed up with food and didn't share, and I'm hungry. So, anyway, I didn't say I wouldn't be here. So you don't have to cancel on my behalf. If me showing up, obviously I'm going to be here. I want to, I'm part of this.
if we have 5, Ms.
Oh,
Royce?
so can I ask, John, I know it was Mrs. Bowling's suggestion, but are you comfortable coming tomorrow to vote on the last reading, or would you prefer Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be here. I'll be in town. So
Okay.
whatever you need me to do. And look, I would have been thrilled if we could have had the first reading on Tuesday.
I was just asking,
I'm
do you
just-
feel that will be enough time for you to review, I guess, is more what I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we could do tomorrow.
So
Might be better.
6 p.m.?
Apologies, I didn't mean to imply I wouldn't be here.
That is all right. Friday, 6 p.m. That works?
Yes, 5 people.
Mr. Gurdon?
Are we going to keep the Saturday meeting just in case?
I think we should.
I would recommend,
Yeah, I
yes.
think we should keep.
We
that.
will
Absolutely.
advertise both.
Yeah,
So,
we can't cancel, or we can't set up a new meeting.
Correct.
Just in case.
the Friday meeting has already been posted anyway for 6 p.m. And Saturday, we will stick with 10 a.m. That works?
Yep. if we need
And
it.
in the event everything is finalized tomorrow, I will announce during the meeting that the Saturday meeting is canceled, and we will send that communication out as well. All right. So, as it stands, motion on the floor by Mrs. Bowling, seconded by Mrs. Franzen. It is to suspend the rules and have the first and second readings of the ordinance. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Ms. Royce, I will vote yes. Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Girton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am?
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have the first and second readings of the ordinance.
Ordinance approving the Ninth Amendment to the detailed financial plan for the city of Norwood and declaring an emergency.
As
As amended. My bad. Ordinance approving the Ninth Amendment to the detailed financial plan for the city of Norwood and declaring an emergency as amended. Thank you.
Thank you.
So long.
All right.
Did you do the second reading, Alexis, or just the one?
Yes,
I did too.
she did both.
Okay, sorry.
You have to listen to me.
Mr. Braden?
Can I motion to excuse our absent members?
Yes, you can.
I have to announce that first.
Mrs. Franzen?
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Franzen. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Ms. Royce, I'll vote yes. Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Girton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am?
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Mr. Gurdon?
I make a motion that we adjourn?
Is there a second? Mrs. Bowling?
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bowling. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mr. Royce, I'll vote yes. Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. This meeting is hereby adjourned.